like to call meeting to order. Let the record show all board members are present. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda with a couple of minor adjustments? On new business, item C, Woodrow Wilson School Needs Project, and I'd like to move communications reports to be number 4. Do I have a motion?
I move to approve the agenda with the noted changes.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, board reports. Dr. Hutchins,
I'm good, thank you.
Ms. Smith,
I visited Hollywood, that was it.
Ms. Hamrick.
I mean, everybody seems pretty pleased with how it started out and how it's going, from what they're telling me.
Mr. Snooker.
Couple of things. I did get to experience the new Stratton playground firsthand. Had my grandkids in this weekend and Sunday, so we took them out there, and it was that's quite a playground. It really is. They really had a good time climbing everything and doing stuff, and it was being used. There was a lot of people there. It was like a public park. There was a lot of people there playing, and for the most part, everybody's well behaved. We're always going to have a problem with older kids. I don't know how you control that. There were some older kids there that probably maybe used some language and stuff and shouldn't have been around on the park, but besides that, it was good. The other thing is, I talked to Dr. Starcher about it, and it's something that I'd like for the board maybe to look at. I know it's a big thing statewide right now, but safety helmets and stuff for football teams, I know there's probably going to be a piece of legislation about the Guardian caps, but I also had a concern about, and I know that she did a survey about where we're doing, but how many helmets are being reconditioned, how much money being spent on that, and whether that's something that maybe the county needs to take over. That's a pretty big liability, and I know you're not probably in favor of that, but that's something that I have a question on. How many are new helmets, how many are reconditioned helmets, how many times can you recondition a helmet? And that's just a giant item that we need to look at. It's a piece of safety equipment, and it's very important, and if something happened and we could have had a little more involvement in it, we wouldn't feel really good about that. So that's something as we go forward I'd like for us to just look at a little bit. I mean, I talked to SSAC. They even told me there's concern about the Guardian helmets. If you put those on, it voids the warranty on some helmets. So there you go on that. So there's a problem with that. So, I don't know what the perfect answer is, but I think as Progressive County, we need to be at the forefront of that and look at that and what we can do to make sure our children are safe as they can in a contact sport. And as the SSAC told me, said, you know what the sport is with the most concussions? And I said, yeah, I do. And he said, what is it? I said, girls soccer. He said, yeah. I said, soccer. He said, girls soccer is actually the most concussions of any sport is girls soccer. But they hit the ball a lot. And if you ever watch girls soccer, they're much more aggressive than boys soccer. They get after each other pretty hard. So they don't take it real easy when someone pushes them around. And so it's very aggressive, but it is something that we need to look at. And that's all I had.
Do you have anything?
Yep. I had to. And it's on.
It wasn't. No, it is.
It was red. The first volleyball and basketball game at the new Shady Spring Elementary grade school. And they're quite proud of what they've got here. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Mr. Ford and board members, I have a couple of announcements, and then I have some information I'd like to share. First of all, we had a Stratton Progress meeting today, and it went well. We actually won't have another one for 1 month. We are finally, it appears, to be wrapping up Stratton Elementary School, so that's exciting. We still have the parking lot, but other than that, the project is coming to a close. And then I would just like to let the board know we participated in the Kids Classic Parade this past Saturday. Some of the staff here did, as well as some students I believe from Woodrow Wilson High School. I want to say it was 7 or 9 students that participated. So we gave out books, gave out water bottles, candy, a little bit of candy, Ms. Baker. But it was a good day. We actually ran out. So from what I understand, there was a very good turnout. So that was good. That was another, we do this every year, but still, it was good to be out. What is that? Oh, tonight is the first night we actually have to live stream board meetings, and the recordings will be on our website. No, Ms. Polly has been doing that, but this is the first night per state policy that we had to. So with that said, I'd like to address something that is on the minds of many, I believe, and I see several people in the audience, and I know none of them have signed up to speak, but I want to issue this statement. So as was recently posted on our website, Raleigh County Schools is currently accepting proposals regarding a transportation efficiency study. As was discussed many times last school year, our school system found and continues to find it difficult to run all bus runs every day. The unfortunate result is that children around the county are not at school. And as we all know, children need to be present in order to learn. In response to us posting this RFP, I have seen and heard concerns expressed over the potential loss of jobs. This study is not intended for job loss. It is intended to increase our efficiency. Perhaps bus routes can be combined, or parts of routes can be combined. After discussion with Mr. Bakejian back in the summer, he thought a fresh set of eyes may be beneficial when reviewing our existing routes. I support his opinion. With that said, in terms of positions, please know that data from the last few years showed we average approximately 12 to 14 resignations and retirements each year. We have jobs and we have vacancies. Both will continue. An unfortunate result of the retirements and resignations, along with bus operators out on leave, whether that be a long-term leave or day-to-day leave, the result is we don't have enough substitutes to cover all of the runs. Therefore, buses do not run and children do not make it to school. Throughout the last school year, we averaged somewhere between 2 and 4 runs a day not covered. This year, we're averaging about 5 buses a day not running. 5 buses typically means 10 groups of students, 5 elementary and 5 secondary. It is our belief that we must do all we can, take every step we can to provide transportation for all children. Last year, this board revised its bus operator in residence program. It adopted a substitute bus operator and critical need policy, and we implemented the new legislative option to allow regularly employed service personnel to substitute in other classifications. We are trying to cover all runs, but we need a little more. We hope this study will help us identify what more, if anything, we can do. In closing, I want to stress our sincere appreciation and respect for the work our bus operators, mechanics, and administrative staff do daily. As I often say, our bus operators, you're often the first and last employee a student sees each day. We simply need to expand our ability to ensure all buses run each day and that all students are safely transported to and from school each day. So thank you. I know you are all here. I'm surprised you're not signed up to speak, but I appreciate your concern, and I want you to know that this is nothing about job loss. It truly is about how can we cover our bus runs. And I know you're working every day. You have a right to take your days off. No one begrudges you for that, but we have to get our kids to school, and that's what the study is about. So with that, that's what I have to say about this study at this time.
Only thing I would add to that is don't believe anything you see on Facebook and stuff, put it that way. But don't believe anything out there. You know, I'm the one up here who's the son of a 40-year bus driver. My dad drove a bus for 40 years in this county. So I know how he felt sometimes, like he was disrespected and like the central office didn't really care about him or what he did or what he was involved with. But I can tell you, since I've been on the board, and that's been several years now, I think this board has a very deep and sincere respect and appreciation for what bus drivers do every day. Not only that, we appreciate what cooks do, what janitors do, service personnel and all. Because, you know, in all these years I've been on the board, I've had more calls and concerns and complaints about bus drivers, cooks, and janitors than I ever did about a teacher. Because that's what people care about. That's the first thing. School's dirty. Well, that bus didn't stop when he's supposed to stop, or my child was coming out to get the bus and he waved at her and went down the road or whatever. Not that the kid could have been there 20 minutes earlier, the bus had been stopped forever, but they don't hear that, okay? You know, that's the thing you don't understand. So we do have a great respect for you, and don't think at any time that this board does not appreciate and respect what you do. It's just not true. It's just not true. And not from me, the bus driver kid, but that's from all of us, okay? So appreciate you, and we would never, I would never allow anything like that done to somehow blindside any school personnel, teachers or thing. We're gonna be up front with it and stuff. But as you all guys know, I mean, I never dreamed there would be a day where we just couldn't find employees. We just can't. We got a bus sitting there right now that says we're hiring, and we would love to hire more people. And I wish we, could. But it's a tough job. It's a tough job.
We've talked about this, though, all last year, trying to get our kids to school. So, I mean, we've known all along that we need to figure out a way to get our kids to school. Now, some of our kids can be transported if the bus doesn't run, but we have a lot in this county that can't. I mean, there's no way they can get to school. So if we can do a study that helps us be more efficient and helps us get kids to school, that's what we're here to do.
And I don't, who knows if it's going to tell us anything. It may tell us you're just up the creek without the paddle, okay? And that may be it. I mean, I don't know there's any silver bullets out there. It's just,
We can hope.
Yeah, we can hope, and we won't know unless we try. We won't unless we try. And I don't blame them for looking at different things and different efficiencies. But at the end of the day, it comes down to that guy or that lady behind the wheel and what you do every day with those children on the bus. And most people, you guys know, but most people don't even have a clue of what it's like to have 50 or 60 kids on a bus and responsibility and driving those over West Virginia roads. I mean, we go up every hollow, every crook, every creek there is, okay? My wife was driving a few weeks ago down the Marshfork area and came back across one of the roads, and she said, "You run a bus through here?" I said, "Yes." She was scared of me driving on it. I said, "No, we run a bus through here. We pick up kids." So there's a big responsibility. But I thank you for everything you do.
I'd like to add to that, too, and I read the Facebook post. I read every word of it. And I've been in the school system a really long time. It would be very nice if we could take money and hand out bonuses and rewards and incentives to employees. We're not allowed to do that. State law does not allow that. We can't take an exceptional bus driver, teacher of the year, or anyone and say, "Oh, we're so grateful for what you do, we're going to give you a bonus or we're going to give you an incentive." State law does not allow that. So this money that's going to be used for this transportation study could not be given as incentives or bonuses or rewards. It's just not allowed by state law. The other thing that people seemed concerned about was that we were going to go with a charter bus company. That has never, ever, ever been considered by this board. And again, will never, but I would say to you, in my world of experience, I also think that that is against state law in West Virginia. So that's something that absolutely could not be done. So anytime, I would urge you as employees, anytime you have a concern, please don't look at Facebook. Call someone and ask to get the actual factual information so that you know, and express your concerns, and you're certainly welcome to do that at any time. But you can call me, you can call any board member. I know you can call Dr. Starcher or anyone here at the board office. Just call and get correct information. We're just trying to do what's best for kids in Raleigh County.
not unless you sign up, sorry.
Okay.
I wish, I wish.
That there was, we weren't allowed to sign up, that there wasn't a meeting today when we called.
It's okay.
What? Excuse me, just say it again, I read that, or,
We were told when we called so we could talk that there wasn't a meeting today.
it's a mandatory meet, we meet every second Tuesday and every fourth Tuesday.
We know that.
Yeah, so I don't know who, I don't know who you had
Who
different.
said that? Yeah.
Secretary.
Which one? I mean, which department? I don't know. A sub, maybe?
We do have a substitute secretary at the front desk.
After the meeting's over, stick around, okay? Yeah. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you.
Okay. Ms. Hodges? Summative assessment, grade level data.
Recognitions, we're not doing recognitions?
No, we do.
Good evening, President Ford, Superintendent Dr. Starcher, and fellow board members. I am sharing cohort data with you today. So cohort data, and I do believe Carla also provided you a hard copy of the graphs that I've created. The cohort data for this school year, if you're going to look at the first line graph, that represents 11th graders last school year, 2024. It shows where 11th graders scored for all three subjects. And of course, remember 11th grade takes the SAT school day, and they test on math, ELA, and science. In looking at this graph, I have created just a visual so that you can see, of course, remember 11th graders, they don't take an assessment in 9th or 10th grade. But I pulled the data. We can see where they performed in 8th grade. That same group in 7th grade, you can see there's no data there. There's no dot. There's no line plot there, and that's because that was COVID year. So that's a visual I feel like we need to remember. But it tracks those 11th graders all the way back to 3rd grade. The trend is definitely not the trend that we would want to see. We would like to see an increase, and there are several things in place that we're working on to help those 11th graders as we track them all the way through. The next, any questions about that one? So what I've done, go ahead.
I guess the 11th graders would be the ones that, well, but the 11th are really affected by the COVID.
Well, they were in 7th grade when we went out. So like that, their 7th grade year in March was when we were told we couldn't go back to school.
And so then their 8th grade year too.
They were only there like a couple of days a week.
Right.
And yes,
So, I mean, we've been trying to make up ever since.
yes,
So that
absolutely.
was yeah.
For 8th grade, the same concept there. You can see that there is no data for 4th grade, and that was the year that we went out for COVID for them. And you can see, math for 8th graders, we took a huge drop after that COVID year, and we've made a little bounce back, but we still have quite a bit more room to grow there. 7th grade, you'll notice there is no actual line for science, and that's because they've only taken it once in 5th grade. They've yet to take it again, and of course, they'll take that this year as 8th graders. Again, a lot of room to grow. 6th grade, again, we just have a point for science because they've only taken it the one time. This group let me see. My numbers here. For 6th grade, they would have been in 2nd grade when we went out for COVID. So this is, again, I mean, it is part of the data. It is part of the results that we see here. So I just want to make sure that we're aware of that. For 5th grade, it's kind of like a odd-looking graph, but yeah, I checked my numbers multiple times because I thought that just looks very odd, but the numbers don't lie. So, and then again for 4th grade. I also provided you with just a comparison for all grades, 3rd through 11th grade. It's easier for me to look at all grades because they all affect the secondary. So what I provided you here was math, And you can see for each grade level where the county scored and then where we were in comparison to the state average. I was able to provide you that information for math, ELA, and then science as well. And remember, science, they only take that in 5th grade, 8th grade, and 11th grade.
So basically, so if you look at that math score there, starting with 3rd grade, until you get to 6th grade. 6th grade did pretty good. Each grades went down.
Correct. It seems that we've been able to correct some of our issues in math in the elementary, but there's a huge focus now from 6th grade on. I know Ms. Lowry presented last week, I think it was, or the last meeting, that, we've developed the curriculum teams for middle school. Being the former elementary principal, I know how much focus has been on elementary for the last many years, and secondary, whether they like it or not, they're getting the focus now.
Yeah.
But you know what, I mean, our state averages are not where they need to be either. So, I mean, we're looking good compared to that, not that.
Yeah, but I don't want to be,
No,
I don't
I'm
want to be
just
compared to West Virginia State.
Right.
I mean, that.
What
I
bothers,
understand what you're saying, yes.
yeah, and like when I look at this data, of course, I do not see anything that I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. But what blows my mind is to know that, okay, if we're looking at our 11th graders, whether it's, this group or this group, we're not super impressed with the numbers. But to know that we're 12th in the state is what is alarming to me.
Yeah.
I feel like we have so much more work to do and so much more room to grow, and to know that we are 12 out of 55.
Everybody's got a lot of room.
Yes, correct. But, we're only worried about Raleigh County, so. Any other questions for me?
No, I still think it's interesting, though. Of course, the math is kind of going this way. But in spite of everything, even with the COVID years and everything, the ELA is kind of going the other way. The
Correct.
trajectory is up.
Correct.
So that's pretty interesting.
I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I think over the last multiple years, if I'm looking at those 11th graders, that's who I want to focus on. A lot of these students were the mix of maybe curriculum that was just kind of, we don't like the textbook, so we're just going to use what we want. They weren't really using something that is research-based and standards-based that, we really need to follow. And I think it's created a downward spiral.
Could any of it had to do with certified teachers in math?
Yes, absolutely.
That's what I was afraid of.
Absolutely, 100%.
So where do we stand now? Are we
For middle
in a
school,
deficit with certified teachers in math?
actually, no. We have a few that we have some long-term subs in, but it seems at the high school level, we have a couple, but for middle school, I think we're pretty good with math for middle school. We might have a few subs here and there.
We are in better position with certified teachers at secondary level this year than last year. We do still have some deficits there.
Yeah.
But we were able to recoup a lot of qualified, certified, and experienced teachers this year. So not all of our new hires were new hires.
Correct.
Oh, okay.
And some of the new hires were, products of Raleigh County Schools, so that's a good thing.
Interesting.
Don't you find, I mean, this is just observation from years on, seems like to me, we can correct ELA scores quicker than we can math scores.
Correct.
I mean, maybe I'm just.
That is true.
It's a basis that.
One bad year in math can really
Yeah,
hurt a kid for a
and
long
it's
time.
basis,
And that always has
I mean, it's been that way forever.
I know.
Because ELA is kind of not a concrete kind of thing in my mind.
Right.
Math is so much more concrete. I never did understand
When you
that.
have to have this.
But it builds so much.
Yeah.
It builds so much from year to year.
Right, and
That's
that's
the,
that's why I see that over my years on the board is that if we have problems, whether it's COVID, whatever it's the instruction, whether it's the curriculum, it seems like those kids were through that problem, it's really a problem to get them back on.
and a lot of times you'll notice that it might be 3rd or 4th grade that was a weak year for that student in math, and it hurts them from then on. Yep.
too, also during COVID, don't you feel like parents know how to help their kid read? They just say read. You know, you're gonna read a book today, you're gonna read a book today, and then math, they're not so tuned to how to help them. They don't know how to do all those math skills. And so with reading during COVID, they made them read, but they didn't necessarily teach them math or help with math.
Anything else?
Good news is you got a plan, so these will look better next year, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Not too much I can do, but I can't remember that one. Remember that.
Thank you.
Thank you. No unfinished business. Policies and procedures.
We skipped over recognitions.
Oh, I'm sorry. I missed that, sorry.
Good evening, President Ford, board members, and Superintendent Starcher. So tonight, I'm here to recognize Mr. Pack in our Raleigh County Schools' wonderful Career Tech Ed program. Last week at the CTE Awards Gala held at the Canaan Valley Resort, Raleigh County's program won the first place Pinnacle Award in District Class 4, which includes 16 counties. This award is based upon meeting all the accountability indicators from the past school year and includes middle schools, high schools, and ACT. The indicators included the number of students taking CTE courses. There are points awarded for students taking 1, 2, or all 4 CTE courses. The minimum score to meet the requirement is 75, and Raleigh County exceeded 96 points based upon unofficial results. Another indicator would be the number of students completing a CTE program, the number of worked-based learning hours, the NOCTI assessment scores, and the percentage of properly endorsed CTE teachers. So once again, this was a combined effort of the staff at all secondary schools and ACT and the leadership efforts of Mrs. Brellahan and Mr. Pack. So join me in recognizing Mr. Pack and his CTE program. This was their award. I think we all know what a fabulous CTE program we have. This is just solidifies that.
And ours isn't quite as nice as that, but we do have it.
Because this is a county award, I'd like this to be a board office.
Y'all were so good. Thank you.
Now, unfinished business, none. Policies and procedures. A, lateral professional non-teaching positions. Dr. Starcher.
Board members, you recently saw this policy, but we did note that a few other positions, two positions were left out. If you look on page 2, 2.2.11, 2.212, and 2.213, we have multiple levels of coordinator at the district level. You'll notice we have 240-day coordinators, 230-day, and 205-day. So we needed to break that out so that our lateral policy would be correct. So I recommend this be placed on 30-day comment.
That's actually the only change.
It is, yes.
I move that we put policy C.2.10 out for 30-day comment.
Second.
Motion moved to second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Consent items A, B, C, D, E, and F. Is there any objection to approving those as a package?
I move we approve the consent items as were submitted to us.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. New business. Consider approval of the request for exemption to the 4-year attendance requirements. A. Got a bunch of them.
That's Mr. Fuller's.
Good evening, President Ford.
Good evening, President Ford, board members, Superintendent Dr. Starcher. We had 105 students request attendance exemptions for this first semester of the school year. They've been vetted to meet the qualifications. 7 of them I'm very proud of because they've worked with Mr. Pack at ACT, and they're progressing through option pathway, and they are closer to getting their high school diplomas through that program. We did have 86 of them are work exceptions and 12 of them are college exceptions request. That would be, Shady Spring had 12 total, Woodrow Wilson had 66 total, Independence 16 total, and Liberty 4 total. And we ask that you approve them to be exempt for part of the school day during this first semester.
I move we approve the request for exemption from 4-year attendance on the individuals who were submitted to us.
Motion moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The consider approval of the community-based work programs for 24-25.
President Ford, Mr. Sexton is unable to be here this evening, but he said these are standard, the same community-based work programs we normally have, except for a few. There are a few that we normally have that we won't have this year. But we would just recommend the board approve those locations for community-based work programs.
I move we approve the community-based work programs for the 14 businesses that are listed on our agenda.
Second.
Motion moved in second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. C, approve the Woodrow Wilson High School Needs Project. We'll speak to that.
Board members, as we've discussed and as is reflected in our 10-year CEFP, renovations and additions to Woodrow Wilson High School, this project, or this needs application, was prepared in alignment, with our CEFP. So you will see the project is estimated to be at almost $28 million. We would be, with your approval, we would be asking the School Building Authority to provide half of that, a 50-50 match, so almost $14 million from the SBA and the same from us. But I know we've discussed this project in the past, and the needs project applications are due the latter part of this week. So I wanted to submit this and request your permission, approval to submit it. Real briefly, I can say this project is the phase of the Woodrow Wilson High School renovations that would bring us under one roof. This project would lead to the demo of E-Building. C Wing would be connected over to the gym via a music suite. We would move band, choir, music classroom between C and the gym to connect
I
it.
think we saw
You have.
a thing on it, it's been months ago, but.
You have. You actually probably saw it a couple years ago.
I was gonna say, it's
We've
been a
been
while.
working on it for a
Well,
while.
Yeah.
But this would lead to the renovation, complete renovation of the former library. We have some equipment in there now, but it would really transform that space for a STEM space. The music suite, it would create a new administrative area and a safe school entrance. The current administrative area would become a counseling suite, and a place for the CIS liaison would be in there. 2 rooms will be renovated to create a school-based health center, still not open to the public, but a larger area. That Access Health provides not only routine medical needs, but it also provides mental health services for our students. So that space would be repurposed, redesigned for them. And then in where you currently enter, where the school resource officer is, the attendance department, that area, that would be redesigned. That would become the space in the building for our moderate and severe program. They would have an apartment-style area so they could practice life skills, as well as a school store. And the students in that program would actually operate the school store. So this is a large project. It is exciting. As you can see in the document provided on page 2, you will see the phases. Phase 1, and you'll see how much we've spent as a county, but phase 1 included lab renovations, a window replacement that I think we could all agree has really changed the look of the school, and the classroom technology upgrade that we did with ESSER funds. Phase 2, we replaced the D-wing and gymnasium roofs and the water line that's ongoing now. Phase 3 would be what I just described. And then next summer, you've already approved funding to replace the C-wing roof. So a lot of work has gone on at Woodrow over the last 4 or 5 years. So we're at a place to propose this, and we do have the funding. Mr. Butcher has worked hard. The funding is there for our 50% match, and we're ready to submit it. So with your blessing, we would submit it this week. Interviews would be in November, and then selection would be, or announcements would be made in December.
Good.
Do you have any questions about this project?
No, I'm just happy. Happy for it.
You and me both, Ms. Hamrick.
Basically, it would take care of all of our plans for Woodrow except for the new gymnasium or whatever we want to call it. It would take care of everything.
It would be everything
up to
except the
that.
new gymnasium.
The master, we had a master plan,
Yes.
okay? And
Yes.
this would take everything except for that.
That is correct.
Yes.
And I will say to you, this project, through this work, on that second page, under the phases, you will see, should this project be funded, we will improve our building utilization at Woodrow from 66% to 81%.
Right.
So that's a great thing
That's a
as
big
well. As I started with, this would bring all of our students under one roof, which I believe is very important, critically important from a safety perspective, not just our students, but our staff as well. So we are excited. We're hopeful that the SBA will give us great consideration. But if you have any questions, one thing I didn't add, I just looked up and saw the cafeteria. The current cafeteria would be expanded into the existing courtyard, so our cafeteria would be able to hold more of our students instead of necessarily needing 3 lunches.
Yeah. I mean, nothing much has been done really to Woodrow since 67, 68, when it was built,
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. I will tell you, this is due the latter part of the week. I do not expect any significant changes, maybe just tweaking of a word here or there.
Yeah,
But this, other than a cover letter, this is what would be submitted.
Submit it.
I move that we approve the submission of the needs grant as was submitted to us to the School Building Authority for Woodrow Wilson.
Second.
Motion's moved in second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Consideration of personnel for 24-25 year. Superintendent.
Good evening, everyone. On page 2, near the bottom, you will see section C, probationary contract, first 1 year. In that section, Ashton Sprouse should have also the word itinerant included in the title. It should read instructional bus multi-categorical itinerant one-on-one aid 2. Those are all.
Your recommendation.
My-
Your recommendation.
My recommendation is as presented with the change noted by Ms. Samanko.
I move we approve the personnel recommendation of the superintendent with a noted change.
Second.
Motion's moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
approve and review superintendent's goals for 24-25 year.
I thought there was supposed to be a goal here to bring cookies to the board meeting. Was that not?
I can do that.
No.
We can add it.
I'm just kidding.
We can add it under engagement, goal one. Yeah.
Well, Rick, there she's got begin coffee with the superintendent.
That's correct.
Got to be a parent to it.
I was going to ask about, when you were talking about Stratton, I was going to ask about that space.
Yes, that is a goal.
I see that on there.
Yes, I made just a goal all by itself, goal 4 regarding Stratton.
Anybody have any questions?
No, I just want to say.
Only thing I was missing, Dr. Starcher, and maybe I'm not seeing it here, is there anything about the continued improvement of our scores? I mean, we talked about a cohort, we've done, I just wonder what, I know at one time I thought we had like a goal or something on there that,
My second goal, I wrote it as providing effective leadership which will foster a climate of high expectations and result in an environment focused on student learning. So then when you flip to the second page, one of those bullets says collaboratively provide meetings that include a monthly focus on improved outcomes,
Okay.
meeting quarterly with principals, focusing on plans and work for improvement. I broke those just items
Okay.
down
Okay,
that are
broke them down
focused
to
on improvement.
Okay.
It specifically states improvement of test scores, but all of that's geared toward.
It's here in that, just
Exactly.
saying, it's a little differently stated than what we had before, but that's fine. I just,
I can revise it.
no, I'm fine with that, I'm fine. I just want to make sure I was,
I could add goal 2, where it says provide effective district-level leadership, which will foster a climate of high expectations and result in an environment focused on student learning and improved student outcomes.
I think we know your intent.
we're good. No,
Okay.
we're good.
One thing that's really good is all of the community involvement, I think, that the people up here have been doing.
It gets recognized.
It does get recognized.
It does get recognized.
Thank you. We've added some things. Some of this carried over from last year, but posting monthly videos on our website to showcase the work of the month, meaning what our schools are doing throughout the month. Posting, I had students ask about, I can continue recommending books to read, but they also want me to read a book to them. So each month, I'll be reading a book to our younger students. Beginning the periodic coffee with the superintendent, that's something that our Office of Federal Programs proposed, so I said sure, but that's to engage with parents. Establishing a night of the arts. You know, we focus on so many, the core area, we focus on a lot with sports, but this would be an event held here to bring parents to the board office. Oh, I didn't know. Well, we're bringing it back, Dr. Hutchins. And so you can continue on and read. We've added some things to that. We've also decided to establish a monthly employee recognition program. It's called the Difference Maker. It's the last bullet there at the bottom of goal 1. And we'll continue with the cards and so forth.
Cards are good.
Cards are great.
They
I
are.
hear
They
all
really are.
Sorts of compliments about those.
Well, we will continue that. I will say in goal 2, something new, on the second page. There are many different things that are new, but one thing is meeting individually with all potential dropouts. So Ms. Hodges and I have already begun that, and we had success with a couple of them. So we're excited about that work. But if you have any questions or want me to change anything, I will.
Nope. Looks good to me.
I don't, it's not mentioned on here, but one thing you were talking about, the things. think the little short videos that we put out, what's happening in Raleigh County Schools, a good start at Raleigh County Schools and stuff, that was put out on Facebook on our page here. That's a really, when we do those throughout the year, it's just has little pictures of the kids and doing things. That means a lot to the school system and everything when we do those kind of public outreach things there.
Absolutely. And, last year I had this grand idea that we would do an end of the year video. And Miss Lowry put that together, but then she actually is the one that came to me and said, what about doing them monthly? So she put that one back, I can't remember. What a great start, yes. So she put that together over the weekend, and she'll continue to do that. But I thought it was good. It showcases what's happening in the school system.
And I agree, a monthly is much better. I mean, at the end of the year is good, you can put all this together, but the reinforcement every month is really important, and that's great. Because a lot of people don't realize what's going on in Raleigh County schools. Even if you have a child in the school, you don't realize what's happening in other schools.
Most people do.
And most people don't understand.
Well, and teachers and service people, they don't tell what they do.
Yeah,
I mean, they really don't.
we don't tell them things, so yeah, it's important. Thank you.
Make a motion.
Yeah, I move that we approve the superintendent's goals as were submitted to us.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's all on our agenda. However, I just need to regress for just a moment. When I was talking about Shady Spring Elementary School, I failed to mention that Superintendent, or Assistant Superintendent, Miss Lowry was there, and she recognized with a plaque that will be permanently displayed at the school, Laura Compton and Kathy Evans, who were coaches at that school for 29 years. Thank you for that.
And if they want to stay, questions, guys?
Yeah, that's all we have on our agenda. This meeting is adjourned. If somebody has a specific question, come up.
Yeah, you can come up here. You can come up, yeah.
I'm good right here. I'm good right here. I'm good right here.
Yeah.
My name's Bill Ray, and bus operator. And I want to first, I know a few of y'all, because I voted for a couple of you. I want to first let you know who I am, all right?